The thief hid over $1 billion worth of diamonds in the air ducts, and when he got out of prison, he found out that the place had become a police station. In order to retrieve the diamonds, he had to disguise himself as a police officer. But on his first day on the job, he solved the theft case. That day, Carter came to the supermarket to buy something, but accidentally stumbled upon a robbery. The boss is a tough guy, so he pulls out a gun and fights the robber. Carter didn't want any trouble, but his partner, David, kept yelling at him outside. Carter had no choice but to take action. He told the robber to put down his gun, but he didn't realize that the robber would turn around and see that he was his childhood friend. At that moment, David also entered the supermarket. Carter was afraid of being exposed, so he instructed him to escape through the back door. Unexpectedly, this kid just went out the door and ran into a dead-end street. He hid behind a garbage can. The director was going to call in a sniper. Carter heard this and stopped him, and then he rushed out and pretended to negotiate with the robbers. Carter told him he'd get $10,000 tomorrow if he let me arrest you, but he said he'd have to add at least $50,000. Carter was afraid of being exposed, so he agreed to do it, and then he knocked him down. David was instantly impressed and went back to the police station to spread the word about his heroism, but the chief was suspicious of his identity because there was no record of him in the archives. Carter lied that he was an undercover agent and that his information was classified. The commissioner, a fool, was so easily fooled that he promoted him to captain, but Carter didn't care about that. He just wanted to find the diamonds as soon as possible. He climbed into the ventilation ducts, but the diamonds were already gone. Luckily, his colleague told him that the pipe above had been ruptured and was washed away by the water. With renewed hope, Carter puts a remote-controlled car in the ducts and wears sunglasses with a camera attached, and looks around. After a while, he found it, but the diamonds were above the evidence room. When he was ready to go in, the chief suddenly stopped him and asked him to work on a smuggling case. Although Carter was upset, he had to follow the chief's orders. When they arrived at the scene, they found the place had been taken over by federal agents. Carter thought he'd have some time off, but on the way back, the more he thought about it, the more it didn't make sense. Criminals usually set up big cases to distract the police, and then make drug deals in secret. David thought it made sense, so he called for air support. At that moment, the pilot spotted a suspicious truck and the three of them immediately drove to catch up with it and soon caught up with each other at an intersection. They opened the door, and there were two armed drug dealers inside. Carter had made a great achievement, and the commissioner was very pleased with him. He took the opportunity of the drug inspection to go to the evidence room and finally got the diamond back. But before he could be happy, something else happened.